What's up, everyone? Aaron Chat's back again for another edition of Endless Sky. We are in the Successor area, right? Successor space. And I think I called these the precursors or whatever, but they're actually the predecessors. Even though it was like literally, I said that in the one of the previous videos. You know, precursor, predecessor, whatever. I don't actually know what I'm doing. What do I, spaceport? Nope. Job board? Nothing going on. What do I got to do here? Is there a mission I had to do? No. I guess I could just like try. So like, well, here we go. Oh, we'll zoom in the map a little bit. Okay. So these are still off limits. And maybe I should just go scout around, see what's going on here. See if I can find out what type of outfits they got. Yeah. Is that restricted? It's okay. It's restricted. I can't. Okay, I can't land there. So apparently I can't land on anything that has an outfitter or shipyard. But maybe we'll find one. Let's see here. Old houses, it says. You watch for a couple minutes as the spaceport crew here attempt to find a fuel adapter that fits your ship. After some time, a group of military officers is called over. They scan the side of the Superior personal ship thoroughly and input their results into a data pad. Eventually, the leader produces another one of the Successor's morphic metal spheres. They briefly connect it to the data pad, and it rapidly squishes into a shape that lets it interface with both your ship and the fuel hose. See that? Perfect. So they have some interesting technology. We got to get access to it. I got to see what the technology is like, right? Yeah. Okay, this is no... There's no outfitter on this one, so we can let go! Great. Oh, here we go. Your ship draws a bit of a crowd when you land here, though most are kept at bay by a set of prearranged barriers set up around your landing pad and the occasional patrolling guard. While walking by the barrier, one successor offers one of their data spheres to you. I'm in. The successor trills warmly when you take the sphere, though they are quickly pushed back by one of the guards. Like previously, the sphere expands into a small star map as soon as you touch it, though this one seems to contain some cultural data in addition to the stellar coordinates. Excellent. Excellent. Stellar, oh, look at that. We're getting star maps up in this now. See that? I like it. We're just going to keep plodding along here. Should have went to these. Haven't visited yet. Not yet visited. Hasn't visited. Can't visit. Excuse you. Whoa, too hard. Okay. I should make sure that I visited that one. Can't visit that one. Not yet visited. Restricted. Not yet visited. Okay, before I go down there, I'm going to make sure I discover and go to all these things. Okay, one is restricted, and the other one is not. All right, we gotta get access to these like things going on here. Spaceport. Oh, here we go. We're just rapidly succeeding here. One of the successors in the spaceport here seems to be offering small morsels of food to the others. Short-cooked strips of dark green plant, vaguely resembling a succulent, impaled on a wooden stick. Though most of the individuals here keep their distance from you, this one takes notice and offers you a stick. This one. It reminds me of Mass Effect with those like jellyfish blob things, and they kept talking like this one is like a third-person kind of thing. I wonder if that's what this is, sort of modeled after. Take it. You take the stick from them and a wave of color runs up their body before they slither away to a different part of the spaceport. I'm in. Here's where we die. Though you only take a small bite, the food tastes vile enough for you to gag. It is tough and fishy and far too salty for your palate. You discreetly spit out what little you consume to consider yourself lucky that you didn't have to pay anything for it. Obviously. Nothing's there. Nothing's there. We gotta check all of them. Gotta check all of them out. The game is rewarding for exploration, which I do like. Let's go a little faster here. I just hope, like, the mission chain... And then maybe I should go back up to the Incipius after. As you exit the Sioeora personal ship, you notice that a group of uniformed successors are standing at attention on the landing pad. The lead officer approaches you and hands you a small metallic sphere, much like the map device you were offered previously. Rather than projecting a map, however, the sphere begins to play a recording when you touch it. Captain Aaron Schatz, I have been instructed to inform thee that our most honored scions of noble House Sioeora want that thou wouldst before them appear to render them thy service and thine aid. They demand that thee make haste to our fair world once more, and prepare thyself as pleaseth thou for an audience before them. In confirmation of this message, I do myself attest. Vijat Onez, an honored scholar of the third Eret in service to our noble house. The recording ends there, and the sphere changes to display a star map as before. I'm in. I like this. See, it's like a little thing. We got to go here. I was on a cultural mission to investigate my surroundings. And I was here, right? Has been visited. Has been visited. Has been visited. Okay, we're going. And let's go. Soon after you enter the atmosphere of Staja Kela Oa, the Sioeora personal ship is flanked by a pair of interceptors which lead you to a sprawling complex in the northern hemisphere at the edge of a large lake. Your escorts set down on two small landing pads near the shore, and you see that another landing pad between them has been lit up in colors matching the livery of your ship. Livery? As before, your landing site has been surrounded by a cadre of uniformed individuals, but this time there must be nearly 100 standing at attention on the pad's perimeter, of which most appear heavily armed. Once again, upon disembarking, a lead officer approaches you accompanied by a group of 8 others who follow them in a tight formation. The leader motions with one of their arms towards the center of the complex as if to instruct you to go. All right, I'm going to go. Your escort relaxes as you move to walk towards the inner complex, and the group of 8 follow you as you approach its outer doors. The inside of the complex is opulent and massive, with vaulted ceilings rising on the columns out of the lake water. Some mimic the forms and textures of tree trunks, spreading out on the ceiling into a canopy filled with thin metallic leaves that slowly wave and occlude the lights embedded above them. Each successive hall you pass, though, is a unique and enormous sculpture. The arch of a wave moments before crash. Okay, I got it. The arch of a wave, or the arc. Oh my God, I think it's the arc. The arc of a wave moments before crashing. That's not how you spell arc. It's A-R-C, but whatever. The spiral of a huge suckered arm. You eventually arrive at a large door that your escort extends an arm to touch. As soon as you know what's weird? I start to read and then I start to yawn. It's very strange. As soon as they do, it begins to liquefy and flow into a trench on the floor. When it is finished, you step across the threshold into a final circular room where a group of successors stand waiting. You recognize one as Siege, now wearing a new set of metallic-looking robes, but the rest are unfamiliar and are especially richly dressed. One of the adorned individuals looks at you and speaks, and Siege translates a moment later. "Hail, Captain! We appreciate thy promptness in complying with our request. I am Sioeora, an honored scion of House Sioeora. I shall speak for today my fellows and the house." "Hello, I am Aaron Schatz. We are aware of this. The introduction of an alien like thee is not expected nor requested in this hall." Oh, okay. Sioeora continues. "Thy presence we've demanded here so that thou mightst give service to this house. We've a task for thee, and if thou canst complete it ably, a gift as well, a symbol of our patronage. Let me see if what sort of task? 'Tis a world within the scar of shrouded systems to the north. 'Twas once by the name we require thee to visit there, whereupon on its surface thou shalt go and find a certain beast to return to us undamaged and unspoiled. The scholar Siege shall escort thee, an envoy of this house assistant, and monitor thine efforts. And if thou art successful in fetching thine quarry, we shall see fit to thee bestow the peerless gift of language, so that thou mightst not evermore require the use of a translator, as doth thou here and now. I accept your terms. Thou showest wisdom in thy choice. Even now, thy ship is being prepared within the spaceport of this estate. Thou shouldest travel there when thine audience is finished, and there begin thy noble task with haste. Oh my God, Old English is crazy. The scion pauses for a moment before continuing. But prithee note, dear captain, Siege shivers with the color as the scion speaks the next sentence, that we do not entrust our citizen to thee without consideration. If harm befalls the speaker of these words whilst under thy protection, or if thou failst to return them here in 30 days, we will consider thee an enemy and levy upon thee every harm we can muster. Ooh, we're in for a fight. You know that's me. I'm in for a fight. All right, we gotta. What was the mission? I don't even remember what the hell the mission was. Okay, here. I went to the spaceport, which is good. You are met in House Sioeora spaceport by Siege, who has shed the adorned metallic robes they wore in the presence of the scions for a more robust and rugged cocoon-like outfit. Ah, Captain Schatz, they say. Thou conducted thyself well with the scions of the house, well enough for an alien at least. Thank you. What can you tell me about our mission? Siege shuffles their arms beneath them. Ah, I must again speak on behalf of Sioeora. They produce another metallic data sphere from a pouch on their outfit and offer it to you. This sphere shall thee provide a marker for the system we're to journey to. On second planet, second moon, we are to land and find a Kijra Rita, a Kijra pet, a beast of sorts, as the science told thee prior in thine audience with them. Okay, let's see here. What other lore things? What can you tell me about these pet thingies? Siege shivers a little and chooses their words slowly. The Kijran are quite well discussed in the history of our people, 'twere favored pets and hunting beasts among a few of our predecessors in their lifetime. The larva is in the scale of a thy'd head, though give or take, with a delicate body and glassy skin, and wings of finest silk. But if it mates and lays its eggs, it gives itself some sundry molts, until it's larger and more fearsome to defend its nascent brood. The Kijran Rita, the Kijra pets, are the young of these, and the Kijra Kora, the dread adults. If thou art wise, Siege emphasizes this with a wave of color, thou shouldst capture the young and nothing else. How do you even know there's stuff on this moon? 'Tis a mix of things, Siege says. The paths in space which connect those stars are ever changing year by year. A hazard of space some years ago, 'twas a pathway leading to it, which craft of all the houses could find passage and explore. Now it's been closed for many years, and our vessels may not enter. The scions know thou must possess a jump drive. Oh, they already know a jump drive. In order for thou to have reached us here, for this technology is a familiar one to us. And so they know that canst retrieve that thing which they desire. See, now we're getting somewhere. What do you mean that jump drives are familiar? Remember, Captain, our predecessors did ply the stars for 10,000 years before we last set eyes on thine own race, who then only had just discovered industry. Drives like the one within thy ship have been known to us for long into thy past. Do the scions get their own jump drives? That is not for me to know, nor I think for thee. Are you certain you're okay going with me? Splotches of orange color emerge at the tips of Siège's arms. I confess this is a little strange, and know the prospect of this journey instills within me some thoughts of trepidation. But to visit these worlds is reward itself, and to do so in thy company, the very aliens who I have studied, makes it a reward that's doubly grand. Thou must realize that thou'rt a historian's dream. Thou art a creature from a distant story page made flesh and blood in the modern age. Is there anything I should watch out for? The house hath warned me of dangers which that space entails. Thy vessel must endure enough to make here it intact, so I must trust that it shall endure once again. We better get started then. I agree, that thing says. We have no time to squander. I've been squandering it the entire time. Alright, now let's see here. Oh, there it is. 30 days? We're in. Taking all my escorts. They know jump drives. I wonder what tier this alien species is going to be. So it's a red wormhole. It's a red wormhole. Oh, that's interesting. So they need quantum keystones for it. Alright, here we go. We're about to do this. Boom. Oh yeah, something's attacking me. Oh, here we are. Some minutes after you enter the system, Siège enters your ship's cockpit and directs you to a location in the planet's southern hemisphere. On the edge of one of the smaller continents, "Here, Captain," they say. "'Twas a place where once the beasts were bred. When last our vessels traveled here, 'twas this location where they noted many Kijran Rita. As you approach the coordinates to land, you see that it contains the remains of a substantial complex. Over a dozen large buildings and several disused landing pads are present, connected by paths of smooth, untarnished metal. The materials show a curious quality of being both unblemished and overgrown. Vines cling to otherwise spotless walls, and the various walkways, though often shaded by large plants, do not show any debris or detritus on their surfaces. You set the Superior personal ship down on one of the landing pads and exit onto the surface, though not before retrieving a net from storage. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this myself. You know, I have many ships with a lot of crew. You are accompanied by Siège, who holds aloft a cylindrical device which they wave in the air for several seconds. It hears calls of the creature on the wind, gentler than our ears would notice. So we are fortunate, Captain. We will not have to travel far. They wave their device around some more, making slower but wider motions, before they eventually speak again. The nearest among them lies to the west, a little distance along the path. You know a lot about tracking for a scholar. Ah, she says, pausing for a moment. A product of some training I've not used in many years. Perhaps Sioeora is forward-thinking as much as they'd have us believe. You make your way along one of the walkways to the west, brushing aside the enormous leaves of the overgrowing plants. Siège continues to wave their triangulation device in the air and quietly relays your progress. As you get closer, you hear a gentle scuffling that you realize precedes every detection by the device. After making your way through one particularly dense wall of flora, you spot your target, a glassy winged animal, perched in a plant over the walkway's edge, probing the branch as it stands with long feelers extending from its head. Ew. Alright, we're gonna do this the calm way. Stay still and try to capture it without aggression. The animal remains stationary as well, examining you closely. Its eyes are large and furtive, with bright red irises, and the same hourglass-shaped pupils as the Successors. After it looks over you, it eventually approaches your hand, sniffing it gently and brushing its downy forelimbs against your skin. Try to bring it back with food alone. We don't know if we got the food, but whatever. You retrieve a morsel of food and offer it to the Kijra pet, which sniffs it extensively before starting to eat, trailing quietly as it takes a couple of small bites. It tucks its wings behind its body like a dragonfly and unfurls two long feather-like antennae from its head, which join its legs in feeling your skin and clothing. Soon it hops on your arm while sniffing at your pockets, cooing and probing deeper into one where you kept the food. You begin to walk back to your ship as it continues to explore your pockets, careful not to frighten the animal with any sudden movements. "'Tis no surprise," Successor says, "that 'twere such valued pets if their demeanor is so docile and agreeable." They tuck their triangulation device away in their pocket of their own and slither alongside of you. When you arrive, however, you find that blocking your entry to the superior personal ship are two large creatures. Their glassy skin resembles that of the smaller creature that you captured, but they are each several meters in size. Their feelers, rather than soft and downy, are whip-like and serrated and tipped with vicious-looking barbs that they thrust towards you and Siege upon noticing your presence. Their many eyes flick back and forth between you and the animal that you captured, and the two let out a loud wail in unison. Waves of red and blue run down Siege's body, probably expression of fear. We should not steal this animal, right? So we're not going to run past them. We're not going to shoot them. We're not going to order the crew to fire a turret. We're just going to release them and see what happens. Like a good person. You gently coax the animal off your arm and onto the ground in front of you, backing away from it slowly and shuffling to the side. It runs towards the larger two creatures, touching the tips of its feelers against theirs, trilling softly as before. After some time, it wriggles a little before unfurling its gossamer wings and flitting away into the foliage. The two larger ones eventually follow, though not before one of them turns around to look at you and Siege's and vocalizes a longer, lower trill, almost like a cat's purr. The waves of color running over Siege's body slowly fade once the animals are gone. "I confess I hadn't picked thee for such a tender soul," they eventually say. It wasn't right to hurt them. It was not right to hurt them. "Ah," they say, "we are fortunate then. They thought the same of us." Siege's briefly waves their device in the air unsuccessfully. "Nonetheless," they say, "thine act of mercy here entails us failure. Under threat, the adults shall surely shroud their issues, and so it is now here. It seems we must return with empty arms." They briefly undulate in a manner similar to a laugh. I do not think I'd take another chance like that again regardless." The two of you return to the superior personal ship and make preparations for a takeoff, so that you can, at the very least, return Sieges to their people. All right, let's give everyone the bad news.